Hey guys, welcome back to another Friday Fireside chat. Now, normally I would be giving a talk based on the weekly theme, but I started recording it and I was just like, I'm not really in the mood. And then I realized that there are 5 weeks, so then next week I can do the theme based on the last weekly theme, which was exploring patterns of behavior. It was a bit heavy when I started the discussion, but today I wanted to talk about instead inner freedom and empowerment. Because this is such an important part of our journey also as we begin to start in this new year rather. As I mentioned last week, the importance of defining our values before February 17th, which is the beginning of the year of the fire horse. And so the idea is that if we can work on our values within these next 2 weeks, to list them out, write them out by hand, prioritize them, meditate on them, and then we'll be able to leverage the year of the fire horse with all of the energy, vitality, force, ambition, drive that's coming with that. It's a perfect time for change. And if we can focus on the desired outcomes or desired shifts that we want to make, we'll really be able to consciously leverage the energy of this year to achieve that and to make a lot of progress. And that brings me to today's topic, which is inner freedom and empowerment. Because in order for that dynamic to work, we also have to be free internally. We have to start taking off the shackles, the things that are dragging us down. The bad habits, the bad relationships, the unsatisfactory jobs, the difficult living situations, whatever it is that's dragging you down, the emotional addictions, the repetitive thoughts, whatever it is, you know that best for yourself. We must also focus on releasing that, letting go. What is the guilt you feel for how your childhood went and the decisions that you must make in regard to your family, separating, being on your own, or perhaps it's time to leave your partner, or perhaps it's time to leave your job, or whatever it is. We have to be attentive to see what is it that's holding our power down. In the short clip that I posted from Caroline Miss this week, there's a set of 3 shorts I made on YouTube where she's talking about, where are you in hell? What is your definition of hell? Your definition of hell is the thing that drags your self-esteem down and that disempowers you. It can be a thought, a belief, a perspective, an experience, a situation in which you are living, working or existing. What is that one thing that drains your self-esteem and disempowers you? You can also look up that full talk. It's an excellent talk. Perhaps I would drop the full link in the shorts where I put this before, so that you can find it, because it was really such an important set of lessons that she was giving there. How to identify hell, your personal hell within you. Hell is here on earth. We make it ourselves, heaven and hell. It's funny how I thought that when I was a child, but then only once I come across Caroline Miss do I realize, oh wow, there's actually someone who was just like me as a child, who was asking the same questions, while they were sitting in church and having the same ponderings. So I've been so held by Caroline Miss, as well as Rev Ike, as well as Brian Withers, and so many other people. And so that's why I shared those shorts, to remind us of the positive reframings and the reconstruction of our psyche, the establishment of new neural pathways. This is also part of healing and freeing ourselves from those faulty beliefs. Empowerment is essential, and the freedom is essential. And when you've grown up in dysfunctional family homes where your autonomy was perhaps disturbed or not allowed to fully flourish, it's something you might struggle with now. What I want to encourage you is that freedom, inner freedom, is your most important asset. Your inner freedom, your inner peace is what allows you to maintain your high vibration of positive feeling thoughts. Brian Withers talks about the positive feeling game. So whatever thoughts are coming to your mind, you will notice positive or negative. Positive, okay, check. That's a pass. If it's negative, then you need to immediately work to find not the silver lining in the sense of spiritual bypassing, but you need to do a true excavation. Like spiritual bypassing is kind of just, covering something with a cover. But as opposed to that, I'm talking about the true excavation of a painful situation, memory, experience, circumstance, to extract the true value of that. Something that feeds you, that empowers you, that lifts you up, that lights you up. That's possible. This is the kind of work that we need to do when reparenting and restructuring our minds. And I cannot recommend, I've just started on Brian Withers' books, finally. It's called The Book of Life. You can purchase it on his website. And it is one of the best books I have ever read on this certain topic, which is helping me learn how to think positively. Not in the sense of, again, the spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. No. I mean, he's truly teaching us how to think correctly. So he makes the YouTube videos every day that you've seen. He also does private one-on-one and group coaching in case you'd like to look more. But this book, The Book of Life, I'm so grateful that I came across this and across Brian, because I've needed this for so long. Someone to actually help me start building the cognitive structures and neural pathways of what it means to think positively. Because when you did not have that from the beginning, you have a lot of reconstruction to do. This is what they mean about the faulty foundation of your house, right? So we're going back, and he's actually showing us how to measure what kind of concrete we need for the foundation, how long it has to sit, how to manage all of these things, right? Speaking in an analogy, but this book, I just cannot encourage you to check it out enough, especially if you've watched the YouTube videos and you've seen his vibe and his flow, how he explains and talks through things. The audiobook is like 10 times better. It's very structured and organized in the way that it's progressive, and he's really giving us a overall view of things. And he's also writing down reframing scripts on certain perspectives that teach you how to think differently. Like, it's literally teaching you how to think differently. And I'm so grateful for that, because it's something that I've needed, and the perfect solution fell into my hands just in time. And so thank you to Brian, and I do encourage you all to get that. I'm not doing any kind of partnership where I'm getting compensated for that. It's just truly one of the most valuable resources on this issue that I found so far. And I'm making my way through that still, and I'm going to be reading that a few times, because it's I don't want to say it's hard, but it takes work, consistency. It takes effort. It's not like you just think one time and then all of a sudden it's done. You have patterns built up over years, and that takes time to untangle. And so finding that inner freedom allows you to come back to yourself. It allows you to find and establish internal safety, emotional safety. Perhaps you didn't experience that growing up. Or perhaps you lost it because of recent events or relationships gone bad. Whatever the case, your inner freedom, your inner peace is the most valuable asset, because that is what dictates your vibration. And your higher vibration of peace, abundance, and joy is an expression of empowerment. And if you want to escape this cycle that trauma survivors find themselves in, reenacting the past, you need to be able to demonstrate power to the world. As Caroline Myss said, everything on this plane of life is about power. On this plane only. Now, there is another realms of existence, but for trauma survivors who are trying to escape the real pain of repeating those patterns, the first is to recognize that you are not a victim. Even though bad things might have happened, you have a role to play, because there are always two people, at least, in any given exchange. Find your part and work to change it. Optimize your thinking for inner freedom and empowerment. change your incorrect thinking. A lot of this is faulty programming, designed by society, parents, family, peers, sometimes intentionally or sometimes by haphazardly. But these things, these ideas, these beliefs are set inside of you to keep you limited within a box, to keep you small, to keep you locked into a matrix, in a reality that you might not even like, enjoy, or desire at all. So breaking free from that cage and allowing yourself to experience the possibility of life. And in that welcoming of the possibility, you are reconnected to your joy and empowerment. Something so important before we continue on with this year. If we can work on the second year of reparenting from a place of even more inner peace and empowerment, in combination with the energies that we'll be gaining from the Fire Horse year, we will be unstoppable. And at the end of this year, we will see changes that we might not have expected to ever have seen. I truly believe that. We're all on the verge of something very significant here. And I want to encourage you to continue to work and put in the time and to put in the love for yourself, to show up for yourself, and to show others how to show up for you as well. You deserve inner peace, and it's not difficult. Once you achieve it, you're probably going to be hitting yourself, thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe it was that easy. And I spent this long going in circles. Yeah. It's a good sign, because it reminds us that things are not as difficult as they might seem to be. It's more just an illusion of our mind. We are the one writing the story of our life. Imagine your life is a book, and you are actually writing it down yourself. In your journal, get a positive, focused journal. Keep one for maybe the negative reflection, and one for the positive, and start writing out your story. Write what is going to happen. Repeat it, internalize it, and meditate on it. These are practices that come from Neville Goddard and Bob Proctor and others. And so, if you remember a few months ago that we discussed, or we listened to the lecture from the Rosicrucian Society on visualization, this is how you begin to internalize that if you don't have the external supports available for you at the moment. Your body does not know from an experience that you imagine versus a true experience. So all you have to do is imagine, and your body will react the same. Same emotions, the same chemicals, and so forth. You are so close. We are all so close. Especially if you've been here since the beginning. We've made so much progress. And I want to encourage you to stay the course. I want to remind you that you deserve freedom and peace and empowerment. You deserve prosperity, and it doesn't have to be hard. Remember, never forget that you are writing the story. You will be judged and condemned by your words, the words and the belief in your heart, what you truly believe. And so, I'm going to wrap up this Friday Fireside Chat a bit early, because I just want to remind you that you have the freedom and the capacity to empower yourself. It requires simply visualization, which is a form of meditation. But it's a more active form of meditation that actually allows you to begin programming your mind, your body, your cells, your soul. And the more you do that, the more you will begin to recognize the benefits accumulating over time. And this will facilitate success in every other area of your life. Thanks again so much for being here for this Friday Fireside Chat. I'd just like to remind you to have fun. When you have inner freedom, inner peace, you can access joy. Joy is the highest vibration emotion, which is empowerment. And so this weekend, do as much as you can positive for yourself. that allows you to access joy, freedom, health, abundance. Reconnect to these emotions. Internalize them, visualize on them, feel them, see them. Know that they are yours. It's already yours. You just have to close your eyes and visualize. And watch as your reality begins to change. Have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you again soon. Take care.